Can you see us?
I can't see you. I can see your name.
Um,
Turn on the video.
well, I'm trying to. Boom.
Bam, live and direct.
I did have a few cringe moments.
I mean,
Like $1 million veins.
yeah,
Like
I wish you would have never said that.
Was it real?
I was doing meth maybe.
No wonder I never wanted to talk to him.
You remember when we were in the gym and I showed you the picture of my daughter?
I do. John, man, like it's so good to see you, bud.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
Wow. What I mean, like, where do we start? Like, what's like? Give us the fast things. Like, what's going on with you right now?
Well, we both work at the same job, just different shifts. Uh, we're both super active in the sobriety community and our church ministries. We're just out here trying to live our best sober lives.
But let's put it this way: when was the last time you were in COCKE County Jail, and then you went to the sober living house, and you've just graduated? Is that right?
I graduated in October, but the last time I was in jail was September 30th, I think, is when I got out. Or no. It was October 30th is when I got out
Specify the year.
of 2023.
Yeah, okay.
Of 2023?
Yeah.
So you've been out of jail for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then you've been sober for how long?
Right up the same. I never went back to opiates after I'd last talked to you, but one thing, after I'd last seen you when I moved back to Tennessee, I hung around the same old crowd and eventually got right back into that stuff.
Well, how much clean time you got now? Tell me.
I got exactly 1 second, and I'll tell you because I got my sober time.
I know
counter.
mine right here. He's got to check his phone.
Well, once it gets after a year, I count it in 6 months to a year increments. But I've got a year, 7 months, 10 days, 15 hours, 23 minutes, and 48 seconds.
I mean, it's okay to keep up with that. I'm happy for him.
Wait, so when you came back out, you went off opiates, but what, you did like crystal or something, or what did you do?
Well, when I first came back, yeah, I did a little crystal meth, and then predominantly I was doing hallucinogens after that. Hallucinogens after that.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I was doing meth maybe
No wonder I never wanted to talk to him.
maybe once every week and a half. Put it this way, when I went back to jail, I passed my drug test for methamphetamines. That's how long, but I was taking a lot of acid and shrooms and smoking weed. Like I do a big amount of meth at once, use it to run me for the next week and a half, and then I would use my hallucinogens to bring me down so I could sleep. Because this time I was out there selling.
But you were out selling.
Yeah.
But just getting weird, right? I mean, here's the thing, like meth makes you kind of crazy, and then fucking hallucinogenics makes your mind go weird. So like, how did you, do you have a strong enough mind to prevent yourself from getting kooky or what?
I mean, I don't want to sound cocky, but absolutely.
I mean, and you're right for bringing that up because your mindset and your mind strength is a big deal when it comes to doing drugs like that. If you don't have a clear, good mind strength, you're gonna go. Yeah, you're gonna go fast. You know what I mean?
I always did make sure that I was gonna be in a good place, surrounded by good people when I would do it, or I'd do it by myself. And it was my way of winding down
but nothing good ever comes from a bad thing.
No, nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Bumper stickers, man. Joey's spitting out bumper stickers.
Yeah. Gotta have the catchphrases.
I'm full
Well,
of
let
them.
me ask you this, because, and I always appreciate how honest you guys are, and I think that that's something that's super special. A lot of times people like to tippy toe around that, but like, you guys have more life experiences together being high than not high. Is that true or untrue?
I mean, that's definitely true because we've spent the majority of our life getting high, so it's definitely true. I mean, the one of the sucky parts about being sober is I have to spend more time with my brother. I'm just kidding.
He's not. There's truth in every lie. there's always some hidden truth in a joke.
No, but I mean, we do spend time together, but it's different when you're sober and clean. When you're high, you don't really think about anything like that. It's not even oh, we're hanging out thing. It's just, oh, we're seeing each other. But now it's hey, let's hang out. Let's go eat. Let's go do something. So I mean, that's nice. A lot nicer for him, I guess, than me, because he's always trying. Joey, won't you come do this?
I'm starting to learn bass guitar just so I can jam with him, so I have a reason to have.
I like that though. I like that. I'm happy about that. Any kind of jam session is a good session.
So there's no denying your guys' love and connection for each other, right? Especially being like the last family members together, and
Yeah.
all that's awesome. But the thing that's a trip to me is like, I don't have I mean, I've lost tons of friends through addiction. I've watched them go crazy. I've watched them kill themselves. I've watched them overdose. My best friend hung himself with a belt. Found him dead. Another friend dead in a hotel room. I've lost so many friends to addiction. Only thing I did, and alcoholism. Only experience I have with being addicted to anything, and people would laugh at me, is being addicted to weed, right? But I was getting high every single day from a very, very young age. I'm going to talk about like very young age, all the way up till, very recently. Okay. And so I come off of that and I start looking at myself going, who am I? Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize how much of a behavioral change getting high all the time did to me. I actually thought it mellowed me out, made me calmer, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm constantly freaked out going, who am I? I don't even know myself. Like, I went a whole lifetime being manipulated or changed by something. So, do you guys have that? What is it to face yourself? Because you guys took it to another extreme. But not only that, do you even wonder sometimes if you know each other, etc.?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I feel that way all the time. I feel like, am I still the same person, just sober, or am I a totally different person when I'm sober, or what? I think about that all the time, and I've actually asked people that, like, what do you think about me now that I'm clean? Do I still act the same? Am I still the same guy? And in a sense, I am, because I like to joke around and have fun. I was still the same guy, but I'm also different as I'm more responsible for sure, and things to that nature. But I feel like I'm still the same person inside, if you understand what I mean. My soul is still the same. I'm still Joey, and I'll always be Joey, but I'm just clean and sober, and I'm a better person now, I guess.
What about you, John?
That's something that my first year, well, it's only been a year and 7 months, but that first year, that's what I struggled with. I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to find out who I was meant to be. Pretty much, I wanted to know what God wanted me to be. I wanted to see what He had in store for me. I wanted to, and I felt like I needed to be something big in the sober community, and that's what I'm trying to be. But I found out that I think I am pretty much just the same, just without drugs. Because people, I'll hear either people will come and talk to me, or people will talk to other people, and they'll tell me that, you know, say, well, even when John was in addiction, he was a good dude. He was trustworthy. He was this, and which that's good to hear. But like, I don't know. I see myself as different, but the same. I guess the core is like what Joey's saying. At the core of me, I'm still John, but I'm a new creation on the outside.
And as far as how I feel about John, how if it's the same between me and him, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the same. That I mean, we have a brotherly love, and to me, that don't never change. I mean, it's different with everybody. Some people despise their family, but us, the love we have here is still the same. And if anything, it's growed because, you know, we're not in that deep addiction, you know, so we can actually love each other like we're supposed to, you know.
What about like, because I had a hard time deciding, do I like myself, right? Because I don't have a choice. Like when you're born and you're growing up, like you just morph into this person, right? But when you come off of something, it's like that. And then you start looking around, it's more of like a hard edge to it. And so you really can ask that question, do I like myself, right?
Yeah.
Also, like, how many lies did I tell myself over the years that I believe?
Yes.
Right. And so how do you and then so forget, like, do I feel guilty for the bad things that I did in the past, and can I let that go because I'm now a new person? But how do you prevent yourself from being a liar? Because I realize that, like, once you lie to yourself, you're really screwed, right? Like, because like you're buying it. So how do you, like, what do you guys think about that question? I mean, because it's deep, right? Especially when you're trying to, get a fix that's as crazy as what you guys did.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really. I mean, yeah, in addiction, I lied to myself. I always told myself, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm a functioning addict." Is the words I like to use. I'm a functioning addict because at first I worked a normal job and blah blah blah, but it totally escalated, and eventually I couldn't lie to myself no more about who I was or where I was at or where I was going to end up. You know, and I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to lie to myself about nothing anymore because you know, I'm at a place in my life where I'm happy and I know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I know what path I'm on, you know. So I really don't feel like I have to lie to myself about anything anymore or to anyone, you know.
How
I
long?
feel.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
I was going to say I feel the same. I don't. Now I don't lie to myself about who I was. I don't lie to other people about who I was. Even when have done job interviews and different things, I'm completely honest with it. But it's easy for me. The easiest way for me to do that is because, yes, that's who I was, but that's not who I am. And that's not who I'm going to be. And I'm not going to let my past, it's my past. I'm not going to let it define me.
Let's look at addiction, right? So, did you have more fun getting high than being sober?
I ain't gonna say I didn't have fun, you know, but it's again, it's a different kind of fun, you know. It's a different kind of fun. Like, I mean, if it wasn't fun, people wouldn't be doing it, you know. Who would want to do something that's told there's nothing fun about, you know? It's just the consequences that suck, you know. But but I had fun sober also. I mean, genuinely happy fun is the difference, I guess. I can be genuinely happy sober and doing fun things rather than just getting high and being happy for a minute, you know.
Yeah. And like that chemical induced fun, it comes and goes and it's real fleeting. But like, which my birthday was in March, but just when was the last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. He got tickets for a concert for one of our favorite bands. It was their 20th anniversary tour.
Yeah, we'd have never done something like that high, not done the event at all, but definitely not together. So
and we got to go do that, and that was awesome. Yeah.
What was the band?
Bullet for My Valentine.
And Trivium Metal.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this, like extreme behavior and extreme getting high it gives you a rush, right? So then there's this other idea of, is life boring, right? Like, because sometimes when you're facing sobriety, which is a good thing, but still, like, you sit around and you're like I found sometimes life, like, because I used to be addicted to very extreme experiences, right? Very dangerous, stupid stuff. And so when you come off of that, I'm like, everything seems so boring, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is like that, especially when you first get clean and sober. You really don't know what to do because you're just so used to that whole life, and everything is so boring at that moment in time until you get a little clean time under your belt, and then things start changing and progressing, and you find other things that you like and will occupy you to get rid of that boredom. But whenever that first step happens, it is so boring because you have no clue what to do, what you're gonna do, how things are gonna pan out. So it does happen. Boredom does happen, but it changes, and you find things and you do things that you like when you're not high.
Around the time that I'd seen you in California, I was also seeing a therapist like twice a week, and I was saying that to her, and I guess it's called Anidonia. It's where, due to so much external stimulation in your brain, it really just, when you stop, you really don't know, your brain doesn't know how to properly produce those chemicals like oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, and all that stuff that you get from doing normal things and having fun, and your brain's got to rewire itself so you would have fun. Because when I was out there, we'd go on outings all the time, do this, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm ready to go do sober stuff, and I'd get there and be like, this is it. I'm ready to go back home.
It's really there's so many things that are working against you, right? But even though the awesome thing is like, think about the draw to be sober is everything. I mean, you guys have been through it all, and now dedicating yourself to sobriety, which means there's something worth fighting for and something exciting about being sober.
Yeah,
there absolutely is.
Everything about being sober is exciting. Once you get to that point, everything about it is exciting. I mean, just we went after church today. We went out and ate after church, and that was exciting to me, just to get to sit down with my brother and eat a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, when we were sitting there, we just ordered our food, and some random guy walks up on us, and he was like,
y'all are on YouTube.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we are.
About a year ago, me and one of my friends were at this Mexican restaurant, Monterey's, and the server kept looking at me, and he was like, what's your name? And I told him, and he didn't say nothing. And I looked at my friend, and I was like, I bet you he recognizes me from the documentary. And I actually had to sign an autograph. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. How much has changed about COCKE County? Is the addiction just as real as it was before? Is the jail in the same bad condition? Like, what's cracking?
Well, we had a big flood back in September because Hurricane
Helene.
Helene. So that actually took out the annex part of the jail. So there is no more. I mean, it's still there. The structure is still there, but it's condemned. So the jail is no more. So everybody is over in Jefferson County,
at the workhouse.
It's a workhouse part of the jail that is supposed to be in jail here. So the county is trying to. I talked to the sheriff the other day at the last graduation, and he said they're trying to get funding and all this stuff to get a new jail. So when that does happen, if it happens, and when it does happen, it'll be a brand new jail. So
But
we don't have to worry about conditions anymore. Go ahead.
You remember where you filmed me and Joey above the courthouse?
Yeah, the old jail.
The old jail.
Okay, well, it's still there, and it is nothing but programs, actually.
Yeah.
There's JCAP, Are You Men, Are You Women, and Tennessee Women's Second Chance. I actually, that's a big, this would go to show you how much has changed. Before, the only time when I was going to jail is when I was getting booked into jail. Now I've taken a class and I'm TCI certified to enter the jail freely at any time, and go up there and talk to anybody in any cell. I teach with JCAP up there now and everything. Me and Joey go like one Friday a month and do a class called Real Talk, which is where we just sit down with the guys and talk about what's going on with them, how they're liking the program, any questions about what afterward
they don't like about the program, because they could talk to us easier than they can a teacher or a director or anything like that.
But what about okay, that's awesome. I mean, and it's a good thing that the annex shut down, but the old jail is terrible.
The old jail was terrible, and it probably still is a little bit, but they've cleaned it up. They've repainted everything. They're taking actions to try to fix that. So it's not like they're just like, forget about it. So
what about the streets, though?
The streets are totally changing too, man, because of the programs that we've started here. And now every time Jesse, the director, every time he picks a new class, it's slim pickings because there's really nobody left that needs a program, So, I mean, you're always going to have your criminals and your addicts, and they're always going to be there. And maybe I'm just saying this because it's not my generation anymore, and I don't even know about it. But I just feel like, to me, the crime rate has went down. Everybody's getting clean and sober, and that's what I love to see, So the county's doing great. The jail could be better, but it's better than it was. Things are looking up here, I feel like.
Yeah, by far.
So, look, I know, Joey, you've been leading a lot of conversations with regards to being an addiction resource, speaking to people who are having issues coming off drugs. Obviously, John, you just said you're going actually into the jail that you spent so much time in, and you're now speaking to these guys and girls and trying to help them out. But, that itself is a job. So many people that I meet, when they come off drugs, they replace, their addiction with the process of being in treatment. So whether they stay in treatment and keep going, or they become the person who is administering treatment to other people or helping them, right? So it's an interesting concept, right? Like, is that the rest of your life? Do you think that that's necessary? Because it's become a job to stay off drugs.
Well, I've thought about that, and my goal right now is I started these college courses. They're just online college courses, but in health and human services, because I'm going to try to get a degree there and then some sort of degree in rehabilitation counseling, because I'm going to try to do that and make that my job. As of right now, it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life, I don't think, but I just feel like it's something that I would be super good at, or that I know I'm good at, because I've been there and had experience. And from my experiences talking to people that haven't done these things or been through these things, it's useless to me. So that's my goal right now, is for that to be my job,
And also, one of the reasons people who have found recovery want to work in recovery, it's because we know that people like us are going to be able to reach people out there better than somebody who's never been through it. Like in October, I go up for my CPRS, which is a certified peer recovery specialist. And,
I'm going to let my dog in because he is barking at the door and it's getting on my nerves.
Hit him.
He's been barking the whole time. Come on. All right. Sorry about that.
Okay, so that's awesome. Joey, how long you been clean now?
2 years and 7 months.
2 years and 7 months.
Yeah, almost 3 years. I'm getting close to 3 years. So.
On Mother's Day, did you guys go to your mom's grave?
Well, no, we have her in an urn. So Mother's Day's hard. So, you know,
yeah,
we try not to think about it, but you know, I mean,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Glad you brought that up. Bro.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a crazy question. And then what, like when you guys are locked up, who takes care of her? The urn.
Well, we didn't get it till after we got locked up.
Yeah, we didn't. She was cremated, and
we were so bad and high, we didn't even go. To be honest, we didn't even really. Well, I mean, I cared. I don't want to say I didn't care, but we just.
I went and set it up, made the first payment, and then never came back. Went to jail and took a couple months after that. And I found when I got out of jail this past time, and a couple months after it, I just was like, Joey, we need to get mom.
Yeah.
And so we got her.
Yeah.
It was interesting, you know, that we were able to do a documentary on you guys. And did it change your guys' life to see yourselves at all, to watch yourselves at all? Did it help you? Did it hurt you? Like, self-reflection and seeing yourself is strange. We didn't see you high. If we saw you f***ed up, that might have been a different story, right? But
yeah. Well, I mean, it changed my life because it made me proud of myself, because to hear me talking about the things I used to do and what I used to do and all that stuff, and where I'm at now, it made me super proud of myself. And I mean, it also changed my life, as in people recognize me, you know, and I get these messages and how proud of you I am, you know. So that did change. People walk up to us all the time, things like that. But it did change, as in, you know, making me feel super proud of myself and proud of John, and, you know, and my friends that I see in the documentary, even if they didn't speak or something, they were just in one little scene or something, you know, those are my buddies, and I know where they are now, and I'm just proud of us all, you know.
I did have a few cringe moments.
I mean,
like $1 million veins.
Yeah,
Like
I still never said that.
I still cringe at that every time I watch it.
was it real?
Yeah, it was real. But
I don't know about $1 million, but close. I mean, maybe close.
There's been millions of dollars of drugs through.
I haven't sat here and calculated that up like he has, but I don't know.
But it's just like, where I was fresh in recovery, I was almost glorifying it. And now that I'm further along in it, I look back like, why did you say that, John?
All right, let me ask you this. Like, what, like, somebody asked me this, I can't answer it, but like, what makes you happy, and like, what matters to you most in life?
You remember when we were in the gym and I showed you the picture of my daughter?
I do.
Number 15. I get to see her every day when I come to work out.
When was the last time you saw her in person?
2013.
I have her and her younger sister back in my life now.
Yep, they're talking to us and everything. That's so super awesome.
Yes, it's amazing that and actually the daughter that I showed you on the wall, I'm going to be a papa in about 7 months. that picture I showed you was old. She's not 10 years old.
I get it, but like, people don't get it. Like, hey, come over here and let me show you. This is as close to I get as my daughter. I get to stare at a photo up on the wall in the gym.
12 years, no contact. And then the past year, I've been in contact with her and her sister every day.
And I feel like the documentary has helped that.
That's actually what brought about that.
They seen that, and the same thing happened for me. Which I haven't made contact with my kids because they don't live around here. They live in a different state, but they're both talking to me now, and they haven't talked to me in years. You know, you remember whenever we tried to get a hold of them, and they, well, now they're talking to me, and they. I don't know that they've seen the documentary, but they asked me this question. Well, my son, he said, "Did you ever forget about me?" And I was like, No, I never forgot about you. And I took a little clip of the documentary whenever I was talking about them, about how much I miss them, and I was afraid that they were going to forget me. So I showed him that we had the same feelings, that we were both afraid we were going to forget each other, but we never did. That was super awesome. It was so heartwarming getting to talk to my son and my daughter. I talk to them all the time now.
Yeah, my ex-wife reached out to him because he had a year more clean time than me and said, "Look, Brianna and Courtney want to get to know you, and through you get to know John, but they're not ready to talk to John yet." So Joey, he actually got to start going and doing stuff with my children. And then one day my ex-wife hit me up and was like, "Hey, as you probably already know, they've been talking to Joey and they're ready now." And it's been nonstop since then. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to say thank you because it's because of this documentary that brought that.
No, honestly, guys, like, to me, like, sometimes I struggle. Like, there's people who like, "Oh, I want to be an artist." You know me, I was the only person there. I did this all, right? And it's like people, "Oh, you want to be an artist, you want to be this." And I like storytelling, but I like connecting with people. But sometimes, I struggle with like, what is the meaning of life? Why do things matter? And to just hear that story, dude, like, it almost makes me want to cry, because it's like I don't know, man, that it's so powerful, because, to know that, like, look, those kids were out of your life for so long, they probably didn't even barely remember you, but like the draw to a family, the draw to a father and his children, or a mother and his children, blood is real. And you can't fight that, like that nature, and to know that you guys could potentially come back together because of that is like, it's worth everything, and it's worth the next thing that I want to try to go do, and it's worth the next story that I hope that matters. I'm working on something with the Navajos. I'll have to tell you guys offline, but it's just like, to me, like, I don't know, man, there's nothing that you could have told me that makes me happier than you telling me that. And the fact that you're going to be a grandpa, like, wow, what a trip. How old is she?
19.
Wow. I mean, have you met the guy?
Huh? I've not physically met him. I've talked to him through Snapchat.
He's probably scared.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad to see both of you guys sitting next to each other.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you, man. You've done a lot for us that you don't realize, just by coming and doing that, changed us, for the good.
Let's keep these conversations potentially going. I think that sharing stories, and you guys are so vulnerable, and what you've shared allows people to see that they're not, like, the gap seems super wide when you're really fucked up a lot of times, and you can see that, like, it's closer than you can imagine, and you guys have proven that it's possible, So you guys
Absolutely.
I think are role models, which is rad. You know what I mean?
And they got everybody one of those.
We're staples in the sober community of COCKE County.
I love it.